I had this idea actually to create this movie, and I had the script in my head, so I needed help, and I needed the American writers to help me with that. So the risk was big. The challenge was big, to be honest, because nobody has done it before in my country. We do movies in the best case it's going to be in French,
Yes.
but mainly in Moroccan Arabic. And in Morocco we have 40 screens, 50 screens. Not cinema screens. There's some cinemas
Yeah.
that has 10 screens.
Exactly,
You
yes.
know, so we have about 50 screens, so you don't go very far with your movie.
Right.
So I decided, I had this dream my entire life to come to LA, Hollywood, and make something big. And, even though we did it with a very, very low budget, my goal was to make something that will resonate the audience worldwide and, have something even fun to watch, but at the same time, a good story to tell and change the audience vision about what's happening in our part of the world.
Welcome to Season 3 of the Amani Experience podcast. In this podcast, you will experience wisdom, advice, and stories from creatives all over the world. Your host is the award-winning Amani Roberts, who is a DJ, music producer, professor, author, and undercover gamer. On the show, we love to share the stories of creative professionals, especially people who have gone from the corporate life to the creative life. Once again, welcome to the Amani Experience podcast.
Welcome to the Amani Experience Podcast, episode 125. For this episode, we have Hicham Hajji with us. He is a film director. Three of my favorite things about this episode. First, his story is very inspiring. He put all his chips on the table and took a risk on himself, making this movie that we'll talk about for 4 years. So, very inspiring story. Second, he told great stories about his life and career throughout the entire interview. He's a great storyteller, and that shows in the interview. And third, he gives consistently great advice. He started from the bottom with his career, worked his way up to the top, and I just think that you will appreciate the advice he shares as much as I did. To reach me, you can email me, podcast@amaniexperience.com. You can also follow me on all the socials @Amani Experience, and feel free to donate to our Patreon, patreon.com/Amani Experience. Thank you all very much for listening, and to the show we go. I would like to welcome Hicham Hajji to the Amani Experience podcast.
Thanks for having me.
We are excited to have you talk about your upcoming film. We let each other and the listeners know where we are right now. So right now we're in our mobile studio in Manhattan Beach, California. Tell everyone, where did you grow up?
I grew up in Morocco, where I spent most of my life, and then I studied abroad. I went to Montreal. I spent a little time in Montreal, a little time in France. Then I went back in Morocco to work, and decided to do the big jump and come here.
Yes, come here. Love it. And since you grew up in Morocco and went to school in Montreal, fluent in French.
Yes.
That's your first language. How many other languages do you speak?
I speak Moroccan, Arabic, French, and English. That's it.
Awesome.
Yeah.
What inspired you to go from Morocco to Montreal for film school? That's a long way.
That's a long way. Actually, I had a lot of friends and family. It's a good destination for Moroccans to go finish their studies. And listen, before I decided to do the film school, I was doing some accounting, studies.
Right.
It helped, but I didn't see myself doing that. And I was always dreaming to make movies or be part of the movies. And I decided. I mean, I don't know how I had this crazy idea, but I just asked my parents, and I wanted to go outside Morocco, do something, and I think movies. I've been watching movies my entire life.
Yeah. Speaking of dreaming, what does the movie The Shining mean to you?
How do you know about that?
We do some research.
Yeah, so The Shining is the first movie I ever watched. I was 4. My mom's little brother wanted to punish me because I was excited and I was running everywhere, and he put The Shining, and I loved it.
Yeah.
And I watched it again and again and again. It's the first movie I remember watching, So And it's The Shining was a big part of my life in the movie. I mean, it's something that I watched so many times, and I really wanted to be part, to do movies, make movies, be part of movies because of that movie. Because this movie is great. Stanley Kubrick was a big visionary. I watched, you know what, you're gonna love, but I watched the Odyssey 2001 in 2002, and I thought it was released in 2001. And when funny. You see the movie, how advanced it was, shot in '68, and you see the flat screens, the iPads, the L living rooms, and it was crazy. The guy has a vision.
Definitely foreshadowing. Yeah. Once you went to film school in Montreal, what did you do once you graduated and finished?
So when I finished, I sent my empty resume to every production company in Montreal, and there's this guy, Stefan, called me and say, "Yeah, we have a music video tomorrow. You want to come?" I say, "Yes." He say, "But it's gonna be for free." I say, "That's fine." I was excited to be on set. So actually, I worked with this company for almost a year as a production assistant. I learned a lot, and then I went to Morocco to start my career there, and I started as a second assistant director, and then I was a first assistant director, and I did a lot of movies, because in Morocco we have it's a very film friendly, and there's a lot of American movies that goes there too, so like Kingdom of Heaven, Black Hawk Down, Gladiators, so all this. Ridley Scott has shot maybe 7 movies there.
Wow.
They shot recently the James Bond, the Mission Impossible. So there is a film business there for the international production. So I was actually very lucky to be part of some of the good movies. And I saw them how they do. Actually, when you're a filmmaker, either if it's American movie or Moroccan or Italian, the process is almost the same.
Right.
So being part of those movies, I just wanted to be this guy behind the camera, and not only the guy that you pay to do the job. I wanted to be the creator and everything. So that helped me to take the decision and come here and make my dream come true.
Let's go back to the music videos. What were some of the artists that you did music videos for? Who?
Celine Dion.
Okay. Which video?
Je ne vous oublie pas. It's in French. I did the Corneille. You know Corneille? It's a French singer as well. And mainly they were French. I did Hot Hot Heat. It's a rock band from Canada. I did this little girl, Marie-Lou. She's grown up now. But yeah, it was a while ago.
Interesting.
Yeah, we did few of them.
What was your favorite thing about creating music videos? What did you like the most?
What I liked the most, I was not a creator at that time. I was working in production. What I like in a video, because I like music in general, and it would be as close to the musicians and listen to the song before it's out and everything. All the process is amazing, and usually it's beauty shots, and it's a lot of fun. To do music videos better than commercials.
This is true. This is true. What was it like working with Celine Dion?
She's the sweetest. She's an amazing woman. She would talk to anyone like if the director or the PA. Those kind of people, when they are very famous and they have everything, it was an amazing experience especially with Celine. I did another movie with someone that reminded me of her because of her, everything. She's beautiful, smart, kind.
Yeah.
So yeah, you want to work with those kind of people.
Yes, you do, all the time.
Yeah.
Now, as we start to talk about and discuss your movie career, we just saw the beautiful trailer for Redemption Day. I wanted you to summarize yourself. Where are you right now today in 30 seconds or less?
Where I am making myself, I would say. I'm finishing my movie, and 30 seconds.
Yeah,
I'm
it
finishing.
Can be longer.
Yeah. No, I'm kidding. No, I'm at this part of my career where I invested everything I got to make this movie. I left my country. I live far from my kids, and I did like a big jump. Everyone that thought impossible. So I came here to make this movie. So I'm this part of my life when if the movie succeeds, I want to do more movies. It's my first time as a director. I used to be, I'm still producing, but it's the first time I direct, and this is something that took 4 years of my life. And if it happens and if the movie does well, I want to do more as a director.
All right.
Yeah.
How did you get the courage to try this and go this step? Because like you say, you risk it a lot of money, time, energy. How did you get the courage?
Listen, I was at a part of my life when I needed some changes. I divorced 4 years ago, and I didn't want to stay there. And I had this idea actually to create this movie, and I had the script in my head, so I needed help, and I needed American writers to help me with that. So the risk was big. The challenge was big, to be honest, because nobody has done it before in my country. We do movies in the best case it's going to be in French,
yes,
but mainly in Moroccan Arabic. And in Morocco we have 40 screens, 50 screens, not cinema screens. There's some cinemas that has 10 screens.
Exactly, yes.
So we have about 50 screens, so you don't go very far with your movie.
Right.
So I decided, I had this dream my entire life to come to LA, Hollywood, and make something big. And, even though we did it with a very, very low budget, my goal was to make something that will resonate the audience worldwide and, have something even fun to watch, but at the same time, a good story to tell and change the audience vision about what's happening in our part of the world.
Very inspiring, very inspiring. What advice would you give young, up-and-coming filmmakers, both here in the United States and abroad in either France or Morocco, about pursuing the film industry as it is today?
I would say go work start from the bottom, work with as much people as you can, and never give up. Because it's not easy. It's not an easy job. You cannot just come and direct a movie or produce a movie. Even if you have all the money of the world, you cannot just come and produce. You need to have the knowledge. I would say start from the bottom, work in all the departments, learn, and then you decide what path you want to take, and you just do it. And if you believe in it and you see it, just do it. Never give up.
Love it. Great advice. In your opinion, what's important for creative professionals such as yourself or myself to succeed in today's business environment?
To be honest with yourself. I know a lot of people, they want to make movies just to be famous, or they want to be actors just to be famous, or just be honest to yourself. And if you believe on something, do it, and do it with your heart.
Why do you want to make movies?
Why? Actually, I was not even supposed to direct this one. I had another director. I was producing it, and then the budget started to be lower and lower and lower, and then we couldn't make it with this director anymore. So I did it. But when I did it, I felt something that I never felt before. I've been on hundreds of movie sets, but this one, being behind the camera and have this power and opportunity to tell a story. And this movie will be seen in the entire world.
Worldwide.
So, having this power to create and show people your work and be behind big actors and tell them what to do and be together and create something, a story, it's just an amazing feeling.
Since you are doing some things that have never been done in Morocco before, how do you feel about that? Like, if you were to go back to where you grew up, like, you're kind of going to be an icon, a legend. You're a trailblazer. How do you feel about that?
I'm very proud about it. Actually, I had few interviews, and they wrote about it everywhere in Morocco. So, yeah, of course, I'm very proud. I can't understand why they didn't do it before me.
Yes.
That's the thing. But yeah, I feel very proud. And when I go back, everyone is talking about the movie, about the fact that I direct in Hollywood celebrities, and. I'm very proud, and you know what? It's gonna open a big door for young filmmakers from my countries, and especially they will know that nothing is impossible, because I don't know from a family that has money or something. I started from the bottom as a PA, and now I'm making this Hollywood movie with Andy Garcia. It's crazy.
Very crazy. It's amazing. Yeah. Tell the listeners a little bit about the movie, the plot, and kind of give us a quick summary.
Yeah, so it's let's say the long way. You know where the human origin come from?
No.
So they say it's come from Eastern Africa and 200,000 years ago.
Okay.
So they discovered in Morocco 2 years ago 315,000 human bones. So now we changed all the origin of the human, all the human origins. So now we believe that Homo sapiens, come from North Africa.
Yes.
But especially Morocco. And I did a movie about, the plot is this famous archaeologist who goes to Morocco to discover, to check the human bones. And they the fiction part of it is they discover, thanks to the satellite NASA and everything, they discovered an unknown city under the dunes. So they go to Morocco and they discover the entire area, and they accidentally cross the border to Algeria. And then it's like if it was planned. There is a terrorist group and they kidnap everyone and kill some of them. And so her husband, who's back from war, from Syria, who has PTSD, has to go to Morocco and save his wife. And we discover, in the movie, I'm not only talking about terrorist or a guy who's going to save his wife. I'm talking about who's behind the terrorists and who's behind them.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Because we might believe that it's just crazy people who, we might believe that it's just crazy people who go out there and start to shoot people, but there is always someone's behind. And there is few theories that every time I talk to someone from the government, say, how do you know? This is the meaning of what they want to say. Like, how do you know? But it's all, they have the oil companies, the CIA, the governments, and, they hire some people to go do some stupid stuff. And then they will act as a hero and say, oh, this is, you need us. And
yeah.
So, I don't want to tell everything about
That's
the movie,
summary,
but yeah, it's, I'm talking about this group of crazy people and who's behind them and why. And we don't dig that much for the why, but maybe on the second one.
Yeah, definitely. You have a very strong cast as well. Tell us about a few of the cast members.
I was really blessed.
Yes.
Seriously. I would never imagine to have those amazing actors in my movie. It's just crazy. So I have Gary Dourdan, who was Agent Warwick in CSI.
Yes.
He did a fantastic job. I have Celine Dion, who was one of the main actresses on the Ballers with The Rock.
Yeah.
I have Andy Garcia, the big Andy Garcia. Having him on set and directing him is just like, wow. And he's the kindest man in the world. He's so sweet and experienced and everything. I had Ernie Hudson,
Yes.
who was fantastic as well. The actors were great. I have Sami Nasseri, it's a French actor who did Taxi. It's the very famous
Robert De Niro
saga.
movie. Yeah.
Not the Taxi with Robert De Niro.
Oh, different.
No, it's Taxi. It's a French TV show. It's a French movie about this taxi driver who drive like crazy, and the car is becoming like a plane. And
Okay.
So it's Luc Besson. I don't know if you know Luc Besson. But yeah,
I'll look it up, though.
Very famous French director and producer. Who else do I have? Martin Donovan. I just discovered this morning that he's one of the main actors of the next Christopher Nolan movie.
Oh.
And Martin is a fantastic actor. When you talk to him and you see him behind the camera, when you say action, he's a completely different man. And I was blown up by his how he acts and everything.
Okay.
And I have a lot of other that you might not know, but those are the main.
Strong cast. The movie's called Redemption Day. When will it come out in the United States?
So we are. We don't have a release date yet, but we are. The movie is not completed. We're screening in Berlin for the film festival to sell the remaining territories and show the U.S. distribution. So, but I would say something by May.
Okay, good. So summertime.
Summertime.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
When you look at your career, you've worked in many jobs. You've started from the bottom, as you said. When do you feel was the turning point of your career? When were you like, aha, this is where I'm supposed to be and I'm off and running? I did this movie,
you know Werner Herzog?
No.
He's a very famous filmmaker from Germany, and he did, I'm sure you know a lot of his movies. He did a movie called Queen of the Desert with Nicole Kidman and Robert Pattinson and Damian Lewis and James Franco. And I was producing it in Morocco, so we did all the shoot in Morocco. So I was very close to the producer who hired me to do the shoot, and to the director. And when I was seeing the process, I directed a few short films before, and I saw the process, man, because I was really close to them, and I said, this is what I want to do. This is exactly what I want to do. I mean, we have a country where it's very film friendly, where we can shoot a lot of things for very cheap. All I need is a good story. I mean, all I need, it's a big word, because we took a lot of time to create this story. But I really wanted, when I was working on this movie, I was telling to myself, this is exactly what I want to do. Yeah, and it's, we've been working with these people, it opens you some doors in LA. I mean, you meet people, and but at the end, all what matters is a good story to attract the actors and to attract the distributors and everything. So yeah, I really knew that I wanted to come to LA at that time.
And a kind of a joint question to that is, why do you love what you do?
It's just my passion. I don't know. I cannot explain why I love it, but I just love it. I mean, you put me in with a camera on a film set, and I mean, why? It's because I think it's the best job of the world. You make movies. I mean, we're not saving humanity, but we are entertaining people.
Yes, you are. It's very important. I want to go back to Redemption Day really quickly, and I want you to share with us, what was the advice that Nancy gave you when you were casting Redemption Day?
She gave me a few advices.
Yeah. Share some with us, because I know it's really important.
Actually, I think she's the one responsible for me being a director. She believed in me, and she was helping. She knows everyone in the business, so she was contacting the agents. She was contacting. I mean, she was backing me up. I think I would not be able to have done it by myself. She was behind me, and she was. I spent 1 year working with her. With the other director, and when I decided to do it myself, she was encouraging me to do it myself, and yes. She was backing me up, because she spent a year working with me, so she knew my character, she knew I would deliver, she knew I'm someone you can trust. So yes, she was fantastic. Any
specific advice come to mind that you gave that really sticks out now that you're pretty much all the way through the process?
What
like the advice on casting that she gave you, or?
I mean, the advices is about not losing time going after someone who is not realistic to have for me as a first time director. You cannot. I mean, it's my first movie. The budget is very low. You cannot go after Brad Pitt, because Brad Pitt is $20 million salary.
Yes.
No, she was with this kind of advices and proposing names that they would like the script and the character and. So yeah, I mean, she helped through the process.
Great advice, because you ended up with a supreme cast, a very good cast. So.
To be honest, we were not expecting Andy Garcia, and she told me, just send him the script. I mean, make an offer. Andy Garcia, it's my first time. He doesn't even know who I am. And she said, just send the script. And he sent the script, and he liked it.
That's great.
I mean, before to send the script, you need to make offers, and you need to talk with the agent, and it's very complicated process. Yes. But once you get there, and it's worth the time you spend.
Yeah, definitely. On the flip side, what is something that scares you?
Oof, that scares me is if people don't like the movie. That's horrible. I mean, you work on something for years, and it's like your baby, and they say, "Oh, this baby doesn't look good." Yeah, that's what scared me most is not be able to give my investor their money back.
Fair enough. Honest answer. I have a feeling though you'll be able to give them back their money and more, because
I hope so.
I have a good feeling. So
Thank you.
Appreciate your honesty. Now, the film industry, there's tons of movie directors all over the world. How do you rise above all the noise and distinguish yourself from the competition?
I would not say a competition. How many times you were at home and you tried to watch a movie and you didn't know what movie to watch because you watched most of them, and you tried to look for a new one.
Yes.
So there's not a competition. I mean, is there a competition between Spielberg and Christopher Nolan and Tarantino? It's different kind of movies that you want to watch all of them. So I don't think it's a competition. I think it's everyone is trying to make his art, and we need as much movie as possible.
I love that answer. Speaking of making art, how do you continue to keep yourself full and inspired so you don't get burned out? Because a lot of artists kind of can get burned out and not make any more art. How do you stay full?
Listen, I'm trying to be honest with myself, be true with people, and travel a lot. You know, when you travel, you experience. I mean, you know what they say: a passport full of stamp is better than a house. It's a French dicton. So, but it's true. I've been traveling a lot since 2014 or 13 maybe. I've been traveling a lot, meeting a lot of new people, different cultures, and it's priceless.
When you travel, first, what are some cities and places that are next on your list of places to travel to?
You know, the problem I have is when I like a city, I go there all the time. So when I first came to LA in 2014, I came 6 times in 1 year, and the second year maybe 7 or 8 times. And then I said, okay, I have to live here because it makes no sense to travel all that. And yeah, I mean, I travel a lot. I go to Montreal because my kids live in Montreal. I go to Morocco because I still have family, but we do film festivals, France, Berlin. I mean, I try to travel as much as I can. Then what's the next? You know, I've never been to Mexico. It's a shame. It's so close. So I want to go.
All right, good.
I never been to Indonesia or Asia in general, so I want to go.
Okay.
And I'm hoping that, you know, maybe I can go with the movie.
Yes, let's make that happen.
Yeah.
I love it. How has a failure or an apparent failure set you up for later success? Do you have a favorite failure of yours?
I do. I mean, you have to fail to fail to walk again. You know, it's like a baby. Imagine a baby. If you tell him, "Oh, you cannot fall. You have to walk from the first time." I say, it's not possible. He has to fail so he can walk. No, I mean, you have to fail in life, and you have. You know, 2 years ago, I was completely down because I didn't know how to make this movie happen. And I left. Imagine you leave everything you have and you invest a lot of money. So I told myself, I'll give myself 2 years. If I don't make this movie, I go back home. But after 2 years, after all the money you spend, you cannot just go back home and say sorry. You know. So you have to make something happen, and I had to make a miracle happen. And I really believe it's a miracle for me to making this movie. So failure. I mean, what's failure? It's you build a company, it doesn't work. You have to build another one. If you give up, you're done. You will never do anything again. Yeah.
What did you do after 2 years so that you were able to find or make this miracle happen?
I was in the process of writing the movie with my writers, and what did I do? I contacted everyone I know.
Yeah.
That's true. I contacted everyone I know to try to convince them that it's a good project to invest in. And, all you need is the one guy that says yes. And then he brings all his connections and, and everything with him. And that's what happened.
Awesome. So it just took one yes, and then you were off and running.
Yeah, I mean, listen, when you have the first money, money brings money. So when you have the first money to make a movie, of course, then you can start to make offers. When you have Andy Garcia, you call your friends again and you can raise a little bit more money. You have international sales. You have, I'm very happy to have this big company, Voltage Pictures, selling my movie worldwide, because usually if you have a company like this, you know that the movie is going to be sold and distributed worldwide. So I had this company once I got the actors, and that's also a miracle, because when I contact them before and say, well, we don't like this subject, it's not a movie for us or anything, but once you have the actors, all of a sudden doors open and everything comes to you.
It's interesting how that works, isn't it?
It is. I mean, yeah, it's crazy. If you don't have the actors, they will not want you to have distribution. If you don't have distribution, they don't sign, and the distribution needs to have actors before. It's
all a process.
It's a big process.
Yeah. Now, as you produce more movies, direct more movies, you probably already have acquired more critics, or haters, as we call them. How do you handle your critics?
Listen, whatever you do, people will critique you. I mean, haters or whatever you want to call them. I remember the best movie I ever watched, beside the classics, is Inception, Christopher Nolan.
Yes.
And I was with my friend, and I said, have you seen Inception? Say, it's a shitty movie. I don't like it. It's horrible. So, if you say that for Inception, of course, the people will say bad stuff about my movie. But I don't care. I mean, listen, you have to move on. If you stop and listen to every dog that barks, you will never move on. So you should just move on. I mean, keep doing what you do best and move on.
Yeah, I love that. If you stop and listen to every dog that barks,
Yeah.
I love it. Tell us about the darkest time in your life, how you got through that, and what did you learn from that experience?
The darkest part of my life. I had a very dark period after the divorce, being far from my kids. And it was the same period when I was trying to make the movie. So, at a certain time you see that it's not happening and you're far from your family, far from your kids, from your parents, and you're alone in this big Hollywood world trying to make something happen. I mean, it's, in a normal time, anyone would have give up. I had no other option. I couldn't give up. So yeah. It's exactly, I didn't have any other options. So I had to make something happen. And I think it's the bright days are coming. I can see the bright days coming.
Yes, they're coming. They're right on the horizon.
Yeah, exactly.
What advice would you give people who are maybe in a similar situation that, either it could be in film, music, any creative endeavor that just don't see the bright days ahead? Listen,
you can have 100 people saying no. You just need the one guy that says yes. And you have to move on. You have to keep believing in yourself. You have to keep doing what you do best as a musician, filmmaker, actor, whatever. Maybe as an actor, you're doing 95% of casting and you do only small movies. But if you do one good casting with the one guy that give you the opportunity, then you're good for the next decade. So, I mean, never give up. Yeah. It's like climbing stairs or opening doors, and at a certain point you just see that if you say, okay, I'm tired to opening doors, and you go back, maybe the next door was the dream,
Exactly.
So never give up. I mean, that's my favorite sentence. I just never give up.
Yes, I love that you keep saying that. Keep saying it too. Who was the most influential person for you growing up?
Growing up, I would say my mom, because we're in Africa, North Africa, in Morocco, and she's a very strong woman. She's been working very hard for us, and she's been doing overtime. I remember her working very late to be able to pay for our school, or for when we graduated, went abroad, my brother and I. Mm-hmm. She was doing a lot of overtime to get more money so we can have everything. I mean, she's a great woman.
All right. Great.
And very strong.
Yeah.
As we want.
Shout out to mom. Love it. Now, I read that you have chosen for your next movie to be a musical comedy in the electronic music world.
Yes.
Why?
I'm very excited about this one.
Tell us
because
about
I
that.
love electronic music, and I think I have a very good story. I believe in it 10 times more than Redemption Day, actually. So it's a movie that's supposed to unite people together, people with the minorities. It's a comedy where we're having fun of people of different religion. I mean, it's not that we're having fun of them. We're trying to tell to everyone that we're all the same. You could be a Muslim, Jew, Christian, atheist, Buddhist. At a certain time, you sit with someone that you think is the opposite of you, and you start to talk with him. You have no idea how many similitudes we have. I mean, we come from the same planet.
Yes.
So this movie it's a fun movie. We have a lot of music scenes. We have DJs, dancers, and the electronic music with this very powerful message that I want to say to the world.
Who are as a DJ, I have to ask this question. Who are some of your favorite electronic music artists?
I have a lot of them. I like the Daft Punks.
Yes.
Who else? I used to be crazy about Tiesto.
Okay, yes. Not anymore?
Less. He's becoming too commercial for me.
Okay.
No, I like what do I mean, there is a lot of DJs out there right now, so all the names are gone now. I don't know, but the Daft Punks are a good name.
Yes,
I like him.
Good. I like them too. Very good. What do you find easy to do that your friends find hard to do?
Good question. Find easy to do. Work a lot.
Tell us what you mean by that. Yes.
I mean, I work a lot, to be honest. The first thing I do when I wake up, I have a company, we do production services. So we work a lot with Europeans and French people, English people in general. So, if you wake up at 8 and answer the email, they finish their day already. Yes. So, I mean, I wake up every day at 5, 6. When I'm in production, I wake up even before to be able to respond and be, productive. So maybe my friend, what they don't do is when they go home, they don't work anymore. So, I mean, for me, I always answer my emails, and if I have an idea or something, I would just go inside and write it somewhere, and I'm in this constant creative process.
Yeah.
I never complain about me working 15 hours per day. So my friend too.
All right.
Yeah.
And then what would you like to be better at?
Guitar. I started guitar lessons.
Tell us about that. Okay, talk to us about that.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I think I have the ear for music, but I never had the chance to learn any instrument. I was good in the flute when I was young, back in school. But I think I started a month ago. After the first hour, I was so discouraged. The next week I called my teacher and said, I'm not sure I'm available. Say, okay, so let's do it the next day or the day before. And I was shy to say no. And after the second and the third course, then it starts to happen. This is why I say never give up, because you keep going, you keep doing it, and you like it, you enjoy every moment, and being able to create music or play music, compose music or whatever is just an amazing process. I love it. And on my movie, I had an amazing music composer, Sasha Shaban, and we spent 3-4 months together. 2 times per week, he will show me his work, and I will come and sit with him and say, "Oh no, do it like this." Tan, 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 tan. I start to make bizarre sounds with my voice and say, "Do this like this," and say, "Oh, that's a la, that's a that's a do, that's a, yes, but do it." And after that, we composed an amazing music. I'm very happy with what we've done, and I decided, okay, now I need to create play some music, because I cannot just say ha he oh.
Yes. Yeah. If you could pick one song to play on the guitar, what song would you pick to play?
Hotel California.
Really?
Yeah.
All right. I like it. I like it.
Or Prison Song, Graham Nash, or something like that.
Okay,
I'm into classic rock. So,
I like it. Now, when you were 21, where were you living?
21, I think in France.
Okay, so we're going to go back and talk to 21-year-old Hicham, you, and give him advice based on what you know now. What advice would you give your 21-year-old self?
Stop what you're doing and follow your passion. Yeah, I mean, what I was doing at 21, actually, I had a 1-year break from school.
Okay.
And I remember my father came to France and said, "Okay, let's go back to Morocco," because I didn't know. I mean, at 21, I had no idea what I wanted to do, because I didn't work. I didn't want to work as an accountant, and I had really no idea. And I remember my friend called me at that time. I was in Morocco with no idea what my future is, and he said, "Hey, I'm working on this movie with Matthew McConaughey and Penelope Cruz." I said, "No way. How? Come, explain." So, yeah, there's this movie, Sahara. They are shooting in my neighborhood, and I'm working with my uncle. He's a production manager. I have no idea what production manager was. And I said, "Oh, really? But you have no diploma." Said, "Nobody cares about the diploma." I say, okay, so how? And then I started to do research, and I was checking for film school. I was checking for the excuse to go back, not go back, but to leave my parents' house and go to Canada or anywhere where I can do a film school. So I went to Canada, and I did this very little film school where I learned the basics. But, to be honest, I learned everything on the first movie I was working on.
Which was?
It was a Moroccan movie called Les Anges de Satan. I worked as a second assistant director with this amazing first assistant director, and he showed me everything. At the end of the movie, I knew almost everything on a movie. Making call sheets, breakdowns, shooting schedules, everything, and managing people, directing extras. So it was my film school. That movie was the film school.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Excellent advice. What is the one lesson in life that took you the longest to learn?
What lesson? I had a few lessons, actually.
Share a few with us then. What's coming to mind?
Nothing comes to mind, actually. What lessons that just, sometimes you try to do stuff to please people. I think you should not, because I live in a country where how you are from the exterior is very important, and everyone wants to see how are you dressed, what's your house looks like, what your cars look like, and I think that's it's not good. I mean, you just need to be yourself and do stuff you like, not stuff that other people like.
Yeah. That's a great lesson. Now, every great person has a sentence. What is your sentence? For example, my sentence would be, I love to help people unlock their creativity by teaching them how to DJ. What is your sentence?
Well, definitely never give up.
That's true. Is there a second one?
No, I mean, sentence, I don't know what sentence, but it just, be kind to people. Mm-hmm. You don't need to... just be kind to people.
Yeah, simple.
And if you can share your knowledge, you can help, always do it, because it's, people, so nobody helped me to get here, and I was trying to ask for a lot of help to work on the first movie. I remember Ridley Scott was shooting in Morocco. I called everyone, saying, I want to work with you. I'll work for free. I'll do everything. And now, so people contacted me. They see me as an icon in Morocco because I've been doing this movie or something. And they want, if someone wants to work with me and want to come and help or learn, I will take them. So, just be nice to people.
Yes, sir.
And if you can give something, just give it.
Yeah. Since you brought this up, I want to follow up with this question. We talked about it a little bit, but I want to ask the question directly. I want you to explain to us, why will Redemption Day pave the way for Moroccan talents to trust their own skills and create a viable ecosystem to reach the international circuit?
Why? Say it again.
Yes. Why will Redemption Day pave the way for Moroccan talents to trust their own skills and create a viable ecosystem to reach the international circuit?
I mean, it's an international movie anyway. I think in Morocco we have we have good talents. We have very good actors. Unfortunately, most of the time they don't have the opportunity to shine, or they just, on American movies that are shot in Morocco, they just play the terrorists or they play these background characters that are meaningless. I think if people start to do movie like this, you can give a bigger importance to our Moroccan talents, and even for to be honest, this guy Bryce Baxter is Moroccan. He hasn't done anything big before, and I just trust him. I knew he would be great, and he did a fantastic job. In a normal time, you will take somebody else with more experience, but I just felt something for this guy, and I said, this guy needs a chance. He's very kind. He would wake up every day very early. He would come on set on time. He never complained on anything. And I think this kind of people, you need to give them a chance to shine globally, or to at least to get known and to have more projects.
Yeah, I totally agree. Props to you for doing that. Definitely. What is one new habit you've added to your daily routine in the past year or so that has been most beneficial?
The past year, reading. I read more.
Nice.
I would say reading.
That's a perfect segue, because my next question is, we are really big readers on the podcast.
I'm not a big I'm not a big reader. I wish I could, but I'm reading 2 books now. One of them is The Life of Elon Musk.
Okay, yes.
Actually,
yes.
I finished this one. I'm reading Sapiens now.
Yes, very good book.
So the one of Elon Musk, when you read this book, I was reading it when it was my dark period. I didn't know if my movie is going to happen or not. And when you see what this guy has accomplished, it's just crazy. And he never gave up. Imagine NASA would send satellites to space, but the rocket would explode because they don't have the technology to bring it back. So he decided to create rockets that comes back, but after, it took him 7 rockets before succeeding to bring them back, and everyone told him he was crazy and he's spending the investor money, he's spending his money and everything, but he never gave up until he sent the rocket to space and bring them back.
Yes, definitely.
So it helped me not to give up and keep focusing on what's important and make things happen.
Any other books that you feel people should stop what they're doing right now and read them right away? Those are 2 great ones.
Well, definitely the Elon Musk one.
Yes.
Yeah, that's Ashley Vince, the writer.
Okay.
You will see when you read this book, you'll see that nothing is impossible.
Yes, love it. What's the best advice that you have ever received?
I would say this amazing producer who produced my childhood biggest movies, Terminator, Rambo's, Mario Kassar. I remember I went to his place and, I told him about my story. I said, you know what? I have this script I want to produce in Hollywood and everything. I say, what language is this? I said, it's in French. I say, no. I say, what do you mean no? I say, no. It's not a Hollywood movie. It's a French movie if it's written in French. Yeah, but I can translate it. I say, I'm sorry. You have to think it the American way and write it in English with American writers. And this is what I did for Redemption Day. This is not something I wrote in French and translated it or something. I was thinking it the American way, the Hollywood way. And I think it was a great advice. And he told me, if, every time you go back to Morocco, because I used to come to LA like 6 times per year, every time you go back to Morocco, people forget about you because you're not from here. You have to come here and settle, and if you believe in your movie, it will happen. So that was a great advice.
Yes, it was. I'm getting fired up just later. Here, you tell me the story. So we talked about sports before. Do you no favorite sports at all? Any favorite sports?
No, I like basketball. I play basketball when I can. I play tennis.
Perfect.
I'm good at ping pong.
Okay. So we'll say you're at the Clippers or Lakers game. We'll say you're at the Lakers game.
Oh yeah.
Okay. At
I've been to
Center.
Laker games a month ago. It was a dream come true. I mean, I used to wake up in the morning at 3 or 4 in Morocco when I was a kid to watch the NBA games.
Really?
And being to the Lakers was just crazy.
Awesome. Cool. So let's say you're at Staples Center before a Lakers game and they announce Hicham is coming to the court. What song is playing?
Hotel California.
All right. I love it. Yeah. Before I ask you the final question, tell everyone how they can find you, reach you online if they want to talk to you, all the social media stuff.
Yeah, I mean, my Facebook is pretty professional, so people can contact me on Facebook. When it's serious, I answer.
Okay.
Or through our website, hfilm.com.
Good.
You just write and we answer usually. Right. So for advices or for anything.
All right, perfect. So definitely want to say thank you very much for making an appearance. It's been very inspiring talking to you.
Thanks for having me. It was great. Thanks for your interest on me.
For sure. I love your energy, and I'm excited to see how your film does and watch it and just spread the word. I teach in the School of Business and Economics at Fullerton, and we cover film as well. So definitely love to have you down and talk to the students. Also, we let our guests leave the show, give us any last-minute words of wisdom or advice. So I'll say thank you again and allow you to take us home.
Thank you. I would say never give up. If you believe on something, just do. I mean, everyone in my country thought whatever I was doing was impossible. And guys, I'm here and I'm making it happen. And just never give up. If you believe on something, follow your heart and never give up.
Thank you for listening to the Amani Experience podcast. You can check out the show notes on amaniexperience.com/podcast. Please remember to leave us a review on the platform you are listening on and share this podcast with anyone who you feel would benefit from listening. See you soon for our next episode.